Do you know the biggest reason people fail in trading? It isn't the market, it's themselves. Every day millions come to the stock market dreaming of making money, but only a few stick and survive. The rest fall prey to fear, greed, and confusion, and they give up. Mark Douglas explains in this book that trading is not only a numbers game, it's a war of mindset, discipline, and emotional control. In trading, your worst enemy can be your own thinking. That same thinking can make you wealthy or leave you penniless. This is the soul of the book. Now let's begin the journey that may wake up the unknown trader inside you, the one who has been living only in fear and uncertainty. First of all, trading is not a game, it's a mental battle. Mark Douglas says the real challenge of trading is not understanding the market, it's understanding yourself. When we look at trend lines, indicators, or charts, we imagine we can control the market. The truth is, we can only control ourselves, and that is the only thing that truly matters. Every trade presents only two outcomes. You either make money or you learn. The problem starts when we treat losses as our weakness. A real trader treats every loss as a lesson. Fear and greed are a trader's greatest enemies. You've likely heard that trading should be free of fear and greed. Saying that is easy, doing it is hard. When you put real money into a trade, those numbers are not just numbers. They become your hopes, your confidence, and sometimes your needs. When a trade appears favorable, greed pushes you to take more risk. When it turns against you, fear makes you cling. In that vicious loop, you neither cut losses nor lock in profits. Douglas insists there is a single way to weaken these emotions: discipline. When you adopt trading as a system, emotions naturally diminish. Without a trading plan, there is no success. The most essential requirement to become a professional trader is a solid trading plan. If you try to catch trends by merely looking at charts without a plan, you are gambling. Douglas is clear. Every trader must decide on what basis they will enter a trade, when they will exit, how much capital they will risk per position, and when they will trade. Until these are decided, you will drift with the market's waves. Mental belief and self-image matter. Often you make a good trading plan yet fail to follow it. Why? Douglas explains that an internal self-image determines the level of success you can accept. If your inner image tells you always lose or are unworthy of the market, no matter how perfect your trades, you will act according to that belief. Change your thinking first. Start seeing yourself as a successful trader. Each trade is an independent event. The biggest mistake traders make is linking past events to future results. If a pattern gave profit once, many assume it will do so again and place money out of expectation. But the market does not follow fixed rules. Douglas warns, every trade is a distinct, independent opportunity. Once you accept that, you can observe each trade with calm and clarity. Trading rules are simple, but following them is hard. Rules like trade with the trend, set risk limits, and use stop-loss sound straightforward. The real test comes when emotions challenge those rules. Most people follow rules only while the market is behaving the way they want. The moment it reverses, fear dominates and everything is forgotten. That turning point separates the ordinary trader who gives up from the disciplined trader who succeeds. Douglas repeatedly emphasizes that a trader's mind must be free and balanced. You must accept that the market is not under your control, but your reaction is. Embrace the idea that each trade is a possibility, and you'll stop fearing any single outcome and regain the power to decide. Young traders should adopt a set of starter rules. Write your plan before every trade, fix a specific risk per trade, use stop-loss orders to limit losses, never increase a position out of greed, review your trades weekly, make decisions based on system rules, not emotions, and don't take losses personally. See them as lessons. The mindset of professional and amateur traders differs profoundly. The amateur believes he must beat the market. The professional understands he must control himself. The amateur always wants to be right. The professional knows it is enough to follow his system. When a novice enters the market, the urge to make quick money leads to emotion-based decisions. But a professional knows his greatest asset is mental balance and the acceptance of probabilities. The core mantra of trading is this: treat each trade as a probability, not a certainty. No matter how perfect a trade appears, there is always at least a small chance of losing. Until you accept that, you will always fear outcomes and let emotions ruin your discipline. Discipline in trading does not mean blind obedience to rules, it means full control over yourself. Even if you feel confident, if the system does not signal entry, you must refrain. If risk management rules set a limit, you must honor it, no matter how attractive the trade appears. That is real discipline. Ego is trading's most dangerous enemy. Many traders try to prove themselves right. When a trade goes against them, they refuse to accept it and insist the market is wrong, when usually Their judgment was wrong. Douglas argues that separating ego from trading is essential. If you constantly try to prove the market wrong, you will never accept losses, and that refusal will become your greatest weakness. When you enter a trade, understand one thing clearly. The market does not know you, does not care about you, and has no intention of hurting or favoring you. Whatever the market does is simply a reflection of collective buying and selling. But we attach personal meaning to it. When a trade goes wrong, we think, why did this happen to me? When it goes right, we think we are geniuses. Both thoughts are traps. The market is neutral. It's we who project our emotions onto it. Mark Douglas says a trader becomes free the moment he stops taking the market personally. Many traders fail because they expect certainty. They want guarantees, clear, fixed outcomes. But the market does not operate on certainties, it works on probabilities. If you accept that no single trade determines your success, you can trade with confidence. The problem is that traders expect every trade to win, and when it loses, they panic, lose trust in their system, and make impulsive decisions. A professional trader knows that even a profitable strategy may have losing trades. Losses do not break him, he remains stable because he trusts the law of large numbers. Douglas explains, if your system gives you a 60% win rate, then over 100 trades, the outcome will likely align with that probability. But amateurs judge their strategy after 1 or 2 losses. They abandon it prematurely. This inconsistency leads to emotional trading and results in unnecessary losses. Professionals follow their system over a long series of trades because they know consistency produces profits, not occasional emotional decisions. Another major point Douglas emphasizes is detachment from the outcome. Before entering a trade, decide how much you are willing to lose. Once that decision is made, let go of the fear. That money is now the cost of participation, like a ticket. If the trade works out, great. If it doesn't, you already accepted the risk. This one shift alone removes half of the fear from trading. Most traders lose because they take excessive risk. They risk too much on a single trade. When the loss hits, they panic. Instead, risk should always be small and measured. Douglas says, no matter how confident you feel about a trade, never bet so much that a single loss can damage you. The concept of randomness in trading is crucial. Charts, indicators, patterns, all hint at possibilities, not certainties. You may find the perfect setup, but the market can still go the other way. Accepting randomness is key to maintaining emotional stability. Once you internalize that nothing is guaranteed, you stop seeking perfection and instead operate with probability. A trader must also understand the psychological concept of pain avoidance. Humans naturally avoid pain and discomfort. In trading, this translates into denial and hope. When trades start going bad, instead of accepting losses, traders keep holding, hoping the market will reverse. This hope comes from wanting to avoid the emotional pain of accepting a loss. But the longer you avoid it, the bigger the pain becomes. Professionals do the opposite. They accept pain early. They cut losses quickly because they know a small cut is better than a deep wound. Greed works the same way. When a trade is profitable, instead of securing gains, traders hold on longer out of greed, imagining even bigger profits. But markets reverse suddenly, and profits evaporate. Pain, avoidance, and greed feed on each other, trapping the trader in emotional loops. Douglas advises, detach completely from the money in a trade. Focus only on the system and the process. The moment you start thinking about how much you will make or lose, emotions take control. A professional trader thinks differently. He knows his responsibility ends at following his system. What happens afterward is not his burden. He does not argue with the market. He does not force his opinion. He follows the signals. He controls risk. He remains calm. Amateurs, on the other hand, think they must predict the exact movement. They want to be right. The need to be right is one of the greatest psychological weaknesses. As long as you trade to feel right, you will take wrong decisions. Mark Douglas says, forget about being right. Focus on being consistent. A trader who wants to be right will hold losing trades too long and exit winning trades too early. A trader who wants to be consistent does the opposite. He cuts losses quickly and lets profits run. Consistency is the only path to long-term success. In trading, perception is everything. Two traders may look at the same chart and see completely different opportunities. This difference comes from mindset, experience, and emotional conditioning. Douglas reinforces that what you perceive is shaped by your beliefs. If your beliefs are flawed, your decisions will be flawed. Therefore, the real work is not on charts, it's within the mind. A healthy belief system includes accepting uncertainty, trusting your system, maintaining discipline, managing risk, and removing emotional bias. When these beliefs become part of your trading identity, you start seeing the market objectively. You no longer fear it, you no longer chase it, you simply flow with it. A trader must also fight overconfidence. After a few winning trades, many traders believe they've mastered the market. They start breaking rules, increasing risks, and making careless decisions. Overconfidence is a silent killer. Douglas calls it the invisible enemy. It blinds you. It convinces you that the rules don't apply to you anymore. But the market destroys arrogance quickly. Every professional trader has a story about the time overconfidence punished them. The goal is to learn and avoid repeating mistakes. The market rewards patience and discipline, not emotions. Douglas emphasizes that your mindset must be trained like a muscle. Every day, as you trade, you must strengthen your discipline and emotional resilience. Without psychological training, even the best technical strategy will fail. Another powerful idea Douglas introduces is the concept of psychological freedom. Most traders don't realize they are prisoners of their own emotional histories. Every loss they take isn't just a financial event. It triggers old memories, fears, insecurities, and doubts buried deep within them. This emotional baggage clouds judgment. A trader who once suffered a big loss will subconsciously fear entering trades, even if the setup is perfect. Another trader who once made a huge profit by luck will subconsciously chase that same feeling again. Forcing trades without logic. Trading becomes an emotional replay of past wounds and wins, rather than a fresh, objective decision. Douglas insists that to trade well, you must break free from these emotional chains. You need mental neutrality, the ability to see each moment in the market as new and unique. No past trade should affect your next decision. Imagine entering each trade without fear, without hope, without emotional residue, just clarity. That is the state of a true market professional. To achieve this, he explains the importance of belief restructuring. Each trader carries limiting beliefs like, I need to avoid losses at all costs. If I lose, it means I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm a failure. This setup looks perfect, so it must win. I can't miss this trade. I have to recover my losses quickly. I'll exit later. It will come back. These beliefs distort perception and create emotional pressure. The market becomes a place where your self-worth gets tested. Douglas urges traders to detach their ego from the results. A loss is not a personal attack. A win is not proof of superiority. Every trade is simply a probability, nothing more. Another essential lesson he teaches is about the illusion of control. Many traders believe if they analyze more, spend more time on charts, watch more indicators, or predict more perfectly, they can control the outcome. But the market is bigger than any analysis. You can only control three things: your entry, your exit, your risk. Nothing else. Once the trade is placed, the outcome is out of your hands. The moment traders accept this truth, stress disappears. You stop fighting the market and start respecting it. Douglas also introduces the concept of the edge. An edge is not a guarantee. It is a statistical advantage, something that over many trades gives you a positive outcome. But amateurs misunderstand the edge. They expect the edge to work every time. When it fails once or twice, they panic and abandon it. Professionals know an edge is about long-term performance. Each individual trade is irrelevant. What matters is the series. He uses a casino analogy. A casino has a small statistical advantage over its players. It doesn't know who will win or lose on any single game, but it knows that over thousands of games it will make a profit. Traders must think like casinos. Focus on the big picture, not individual results. But most traders think like gamblers. They get emotional. They want to win now. They want to avoid losing now. They want the market to validate them now. This impatience destroys their discipline. Douglas says, you don't need to know what will happen next to make money. This single sentence can transform a trader's life. Another psychological trap he explains is revenge trading. After a loss, traders often feel the urge to immediately recoup the money. This emotional impulse is one of the most destructive behaviors in trading. Revenge trades are rarely based on logic. They come from frustration, anger, and ego. These trades usually result in bigger losses. A professional trader steps back after a loss, analyzes calmly, and resets mentally before trading again. Similarly, the fear of missing out, FOMO, is a dangerous enemy. The market will always offer new opportunities, but traders often chase moves that are already too late. They jump in just because the candle is running, not because they have a plan, and as soon as they enter due to FOMO, the market pulls back and punishes them. Douglas emphasizes that FOMO comes from scarcity thinking. the belief that opportunities are limited. Professionals think in abundance, if not this one, then the next. He also stresses the importance of clarity and simplicity in trading. Most traders overload their charts with indicators, signals, and tools, but complexity creates confusion. Confusion leads to doubt. Doubt leads to hesitation. Hesitation leads to late entries, missed opportunities, and emotional turmoil. Professionals keep it simple. They rely on a clean system and a clear mindset. Douglas explains that trading success is 80% psychology and only 20% technical knowledge. You don't need the most complicated system, you need the strongest mind. Trading tests your patience, discipline, and emotional strength more than your analytical skills. Finally, he talks about the power of self-awareness. A trader must study not just charts but themselves. What triggers fear? What triggers greed? What causes hesitation? What causes overconfidence? What does a losing streak do to your emotions? What does a winning streak do to your judgment? When you become aware of your psychological patterns, you gain control over them. In the end, Douglas says, your job is to think in probabilities, manage risk, and maintain consistency. Let the market do the rest. Mark Douglas also highlights the importance of routine and mental preparation. A professional trader does not enter the market unprepared. Every morning before the market opens, they mentally review their strategy, their rules, and their risk limits. They visualize potential scenarios, winning trades, losing trades, unexpected market moves, and plan their reactions accordingly. This mental rehearsal ensures that when emotions arise, the trader reacts according to the plan rather than instinctively. Douglas stresses the power of journaling. Every trade should be documented: entry reason, risk, exit strategy, emotional state, and outcome. A trading journal is more than just a record. It is a mirror. It reveals patterns in your thinking and behavior. It shows when emotions influenced decisions and when discipline prevailed. Over time, journaling creates self-awareness, which is the foundation of professional trading. Without this, mistakes are repeated, lessons are forgotten, and emotional biases grow stronger. Another central idea Douglas introduces is flexibility within discipline. Discipline does not mean rigidity. The market is constantly changing, and a trader must adapt. However, adaptations should always occur within a structured framework, not out of panic or greed. Flexibility allows a trader to respect the rules while responding appropriately to unexpected developments. It is this balance between discipline and adaptability that separates professionals from amateurs. Douglas emphasizes mental neutrality and detachment from results. Each trade is an independent event. Past profits or losses do not influence the present. If a trade loses, it is not a judgment on your skill. If a trade wins, it is not a measure of your worth. Professionals see the market objectively. They do not allow ego, fear, or greed to influence decisions. The moment you take results personally, you invite emotional mistakes. He also explores the role of ego in trading. Ego drives the need to be right, to win, or to prove oneself. This internal pressure leads to overtrading, revenge trading, and ignoring risk limits. Douglas asserts that detaching ego from trading is essential. The market doesn't care about your pride. It only responds to probability. Once a trader stops defending their ego, they can follow their system calmly, accept losses, and maximize opportunities. Douglas addresses the psychological pitfalls of hope and fear. Traders hope a losing position will reverse or fear taking a risk even when a trade setup is perfect. Hope leads to holding losing trades too long. Fear prevents timely entries or causes early exits. The antidote is a well-defined trading plan, including risk management, entry criteria, and exit rules. When rules are followed consistently, hope and fear lose their power over decisions. He also explains the importance of accepting uncertainty. Traders often desire certainty, a guarantee that every trade will succeed. But the market operates on probabilities, not guarantees. Accepting uncertainty transforms a trader's mindset from reactive to proactive. Instead of worrying about outcomes, professionals focus on the process, knowing that consistent application of their system produces long-term profits. Uncertainty is not an enemy, it is the condition under which probability works. Douglas introduces the concept of process over outcome. Most traders focus on results, how much they made or lost. This obsession leads to emotional decisions and inconsistency. Professionals focus on process, following the rules, managing risk, maintaining discipline, and reacting calmly to each scenario. Results become a byproduct of adherence to process, not a goal in themselves. Finally, Douglas emphasizes the importance of internalizing mental rules. Knowledge of rules is not enough. A trader can know all the techniques and strategies but fail to follow them under pressure. Success comes from repeatedly practicing discipline until it becomes a habit. Small decisions, consistently applied, compound into mental strength and resilience. This inner structure allows traders to act calmly, systematically, and objectively, even in turbulent markets. The final lesson Mark Douglas emphasizes is that trading is ultimately an inward journey. It is not just about numbers, charts, or systems. It is about understanding yourself. Every trade tests your emotions, your ego, your patience, and your discipline. The market reflects your inner state. Fear, greed, pride, and hope are projected externally through your trades. Mastering the market begins with mastering yourself. Douglas teaches that mental training is the most powerful tool. Just like an athlete trains daily for peak performance, a trader must train their mind. This involves daily reflection, analysis of past decisions, visualization exercises, and reaffirming core trading beliefs. You must ask yourself every day, did I follow my system? Did I act from discipline or emotion? Did I learn from mistakes? The answers develop your self-awareness and reinforce consistent behavior. Another critical insight is reprogramming your thinking. Many people grow up fearing mistakes and failure. In trading, this mindset is destructive. Douglas argues that you must accept mistakes as opportunities for learning. Losses are not personal failures, they are lessons that refine your strategy and strengthen your decision-making. Repeating positive affirmations and focusing on process rather than results gradually rewires your brain for consistent success. He also highlights the power of visualization. Before taking trades, close your eyes and imagine scenarios where the market moves against you. Visualize responding calmly, executing your plan without fear, and controlling your emotions. Repeated visualization prepares the mind for real situations. When actual trades occur, the mental rehearsal allows you to act decisively and calmly, without panic or hesitation. Douglas emphasizes clarity in decision-making. Every trade must be deliberate, precise, and detached from emotion. Even a small influence of fear, hope, or greed can turn a decision into a reaction, which is the most dangerous state in trading. A professional trader trains to make decisions from a place of calm, logical analysis, and adherence to a tested system. This clarity leads to consistent results. He stresses the importance of viewing trading as a business, not a gamble. Treating trading as entertainment, luck, or a quick money scheme leads to inconsistency and emotional errors. Professionals approach it methodically, defining goals, managing risk, analyzing outcomes, and making calculated decisions. Every trade is a business decision, not an emotional impulse. Douglas also warns against attachment to outcomes. Many traders take losses personally, seeing them as a reflection of their abilities or worth. This perspective creates emotional reactions, impulsive trades, and fear of taking new positions. Professionals see losses as part of the process, like a businessman accepting expenses or investments that didn't pay off yet. The key is long-term perspective, patience, and learning. Finally, Douglas summarizes the 5 psychological rules for successful trading. The market is not personal. Its movements are not a reflection of you. Every trade is an opportunity, either to win or to learn. No single trade determines your future. Each is independent. Your thinking is your greatest strength or weakness. Discipline is your most valuable asset. He emphasizes that while technical knowledge is useful, psychology is far more critical. A well-trained mind, reinforced by daily practice, reflection, and adherence to rules, is the true foundation of trading success. When you master your mind, the market cannot defeat you. Trading becomes more than a way to earn money. It becomes a path to self-knowledge, balance, and awareness. You become not only a disciplined trader but also a grounded, thoughtful human being. Douglas leaves traders with this final message: treat every trade as an opportunity, not a life or death battle. Focus on process, not result. Accept uncertainty, manage risk, rise above emotion. When you internalize these principles, trading transforms from a gamble into a disciplined, empowering journey. Success is no longer a question of luck. It is a reflection of mindset, preparation, and mental mastery.